it's Hannah from Wizzy.io. Today we're going to be talking about it's a special feature where requesters can specify the reviewers that are already set on the Google form. It's an easy way to set up, and it's one quick way for the Form Workflow Plus add-on to automate your validation processes. So let's get into it, okay? So if you can see the screen, we're currently in the Lyndon Cressley request form. So if you check the elements of the form, it asks for the email address, the name of the requester, and a drop-down menu has been set listing all the possible reviewers for this particular request. You also have the leave type, which is in a multiple choice setup, and when they plan to start their leave and when they end the leave. If you check through the responses section, you have to link this particular form to a sheet. All you have to do is click this button and you'll be routed to a page similar to this. All we have to do now is start the add-on. Under the add-ons menu, just choose Form Workflow Plus and start. There you go. Now you've started the Form Workflow Plus add-on. But take a look, it's still inactive. You still have to set it up. So let's click this green button that says Set Up and Activate Workflow. There you go. You'll be routed to a page like this. So first you need to choose from which sheet the add-on will collect the data from. Then you'll have to select the column containing the email address of the requester. So once you click the drop-down, just choose the particular name of the column. Now we're ready to set up the approval steps and the reviewers. So just click Edit. Here you go. Now we're on the approval steps list. By default, there's already one step and one reviewer set for you. This means that without any conditional formatting, all the processes will go through this person. Now it's time for us to set up the reviewers that will be coming from the worksheet. So let's click the pencil icon and you'll be routed to the conditional approval step list. So right now it's already set to the default one, which is the workflow creator. Okay, now we're in the conditional approvals page. Remember that what you want to do is to choose an email address that's coming from the response of your requester, which means pick reviewer email from your form is the best option for you here. All you have to do is check that box. It'll ask you then to identify which column will the information be coming from. If you click it, a drop-down menu will be available, and all you have to do is to choose whichever column header you have the information in. So in this case, it's direct supervisor. If you think about it, you can go ahead and save it now. But wait, there's an error. It tells you please select an exclusion column first. This means we have to set up a condition wherein it will always be true. In this case, for the criteria column, I will choose email address, and the operator would be contains and the @ symbol, which means in any way, this will always be true. There will always be an information that will come from an email address that will contain an @ sign, right? So I can go ahead and save that now. There you go. Now you've set up your workflow to choose the supervisor that has been selected by the requester from your form. All you have to do now is to save it and go back to setup. Next, you just have to save and activate the workflow. Wait for the sidebar to reload. And there you go, your workflow is now active. Take note, all the reviewers or the email addresses you placed as reviewers will be granted access for the worksheet. This is to allow the worksheet to function properly. If you take a look at the top right portion of the page on the share button, you'll notice that for this particular example, absolutely temporary1 at gmail.com has been granted access for this workflow. You can set it up from here, or you can also set it up through the web application. So if I click on this link that says go to web application, it will route me to this page. Now we're inside the web application, we'll just have to see if absolutely temporary1 at gmail.com has already been added on the list of users for your workflow. So if I click my avatar menu and go to account settings, I'll be routed to the manage users page. So if you're just going to add the user, you can click add user from here and then enter the email address that you want. And let's say Vizy.io, and indicate which role you want them to have. Just click on it and select, and then create. For this one, let's see if Absolutely Temporary 1 is already here. We see that Absolutely Temporary 1 is set as a user already. You want to go ahead and try and test it? So this is the request form, and all you have to do is fill out the details. Asking me for the direct supervisor. Let's say I wanted to go to this person, and I'm filing for a maternity leave. The start date will be on October 1. It will end on October 31. Submit. Now let's check if it's already in your sheet. Okay, look, now it's already in your sheet and it's already pending for approval. So now we have to check if the reviewer that was chosen by the requester will be receiving the request on their email. So remember that I chose Absolutely Temporary 1 as the reviewer for this particular leave request. Now let me go to the email of Absolutely Temporary 1, and here you go. The request for Hannah for a maternity leave has successfully been sent to absolutelytemporary1@gmail.com. Now, as a reviewer, all they have to do is to approve this. Here's a summary of the request and the option to approve or decline the request. Reviewers then can just click submit, and the requester should be receiving an email about the status of their request. There you go. Now the requester has successfully received the email coming from the reviewer that they've selected. Now, since the requester has already received an email saying that the request has been approved, let's just look back at your worksheet or your spreadsheet to see the status of your Form Workflow Plus approval. If you take a look, column I has already been linked as approved, and you're good to go. And there you go. That's how a requester can identify or choose a reviewer from the form that you've created. Thank you again for joining me today. My name is Hannah from Vizy.io, and please do continue to join us for more tutorial videos. You can follow us on all our social media platforms there. And please don't forget to keep following us here on YouTube and by clicking that subscribe button and getting notified if we have new content available for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again on the next tutorial. Bye!